Hello everyone, welcome back. So good to be here. Today we are talking about getting into Flow for complete beginners. So if you are brand new to Salesforce, if you've never ever used Flow before, then this is exactly where you need to be because we're going over it from ground zero. My advice is have open a playground. Uh, you can get these free from Trailhead. If you go back to our Jump and Jan challenges, then we've been doing videos all month about how to get started in Salesforce, about easy things that you can do every day that are going to teach you a bit about Salesforce. And now we're on to the big guns, which is Flow. So in this one, we're just going to get started with Flow. We're not going to do anything super fancy. So have open your playground, just search for Flow in your setup menu. And then you want to go under Process Automation. There's a Flows button right there. So we're clicking on that. Now you can see there's already a bunch of example flows here. Don't worry about those, we're going to leave those alone, and we're actually going to go up here and create our own new flow. So if you come up and click on New Flow, top right, it's going to open up a new window or a new tab for you. And in here we're just going to have a quick chat about the different types of flow, because straight away you're hit with this screen here. If you've never used Flow before, it's a bit like, what do I do? So we're going to go through these one by one. The first option here is the screen flow. A screen flow is exactly like this pop-up here. So this pop-up where you're choosing all these different types of flow is exactly the sort of thing that you would create with a screen flow. Think about a screen flow as any sort of pop-up that you want your users to interact with, whether it's updating a record or creating a new lead or entering in some information or even just displaying a message. That's what you can use a screen flow for. But it kind of has to be triggered by someone clicking a button, which then opens a screen. All right, just like we did, new flow. All right, it opened up the screen. So that's the screen flow. Then we have a record triggered flow, which launches when a record is created, updated, or deleted. This auto-launched flow runs in the background. So this is going to run automatically in Salesforce when it hears a certain thing has happened and you define what that thing is. But I like to think of a record triggered flow like it's kind of like a giant set of ears which Salesforce has, and it's just listening for this event to happen. And then once it happens, it will automatically run this flow. So this might automatically run when a lead is created, or when a opportunity is closed won, or when a discount is applied, or whatever it is. It could genuinely be anything. Then this flow is run. All right, and it runs in the background. The user doesn't even know that it's happening most of the time. That's our record triggered flow, and it's probably the most common one. Next on this side, we have a scheduled triggered flow, which is when you want to run a flow at a specific time on a regular basis. So if you said, well, we want to run this every Monday, 8 a.m., then that's what you go ahead and do. All right. Then we have our platform event triggered flow, and our platform event triggered flow will launch when a platform event message is received. So this could be something like a message from another platform that you've integrated with Salesforce, so maybe an accounting software or a marketing software or any other sort of platform that is integrated with Salesforce. If you get a message from that platform, then you can trigger a flow using this type of flow. And the last one is an auto-launched flow, which says it has no trigger because this one is actually launched when it's invoked by Apex, which is Salesforce's programming language, other processes, APIs even. So this one is a bit out of scope, definitely, if you're just starting out with flows. It's not really the appropriate one to be looking at. We're actually going to start with a record triggered flow. All right, so let's click into our record triggered flow and go ahead and create one of those. And what we're going to be faced with straight away when we're creating a flow is this configure start page. All right, this is how do we start the flow? Do we have any filters here? Which object are we starting it with? So let's first get into our heads what we're actually going to create here. Let's create a flow that sends the owner of a lead a email every time a new lead is created. Okay, and maybe we're going to do this just for US leads at the moment. So if a new lead comes in and the country is the US, then we're going to send the owner of that lead an email and just say, hey, you've got a new lead. You should probably do something about it. Off you go, sort of thing. So the first thing that we need to decide is which object are we going to use to trigger the flow. All right. So we're going to choose the lead one because that's what we're doing this on. And when are we going to trigger the flow? When a record is created, when a record is updated, or when a record is created or updated. All right. Or even when a record is deleted. We're going to go just for when a record is created. Then we set entry conditions. All right, which our ones are that the country has to be equal to the US, right? Maybe USA. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I can't really think of anything else that we'd need to add here. In this one, we have optimize the flow. Don't worry about that. All right, just leave it on what it is as default. We're going to continue on to the next one. All right, so we've got our starting position here for our flow. In our next video, we're going to look at creating an action here. So if this is your first time doing a flow, then welcome. Awesome to have you here. I hope that actually explained a little bit about what a flow is, the different types of flows, and in our next video, we'll actually do something here and send an email. So we'll see you in the next one.